Hello. This is Sunday, April 5th, 2020. How's it going?
It's going good, man. I'm waiting for my stimulus check to arrive.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, I'll sure make up for quarantining and everyone dying having $1,200.
It's going to solve everybody's problems.
I've never really watched the Trailer Park Boys, but I saw a funny meme where some guy was talking to one of the main people, and it was like America was the guy, and it was like we want health care, and then the main character was like the government. He's like, here's $1,200 to fuck off. It's like, yeah, I kind of get that sentiment.
Didn't David Cross have a bit about that back when Bush was president, Bush W. I'll find it again. Something about like if you give me like $100, what? You give me $100? Oh, you got my vote. Something like that. I ruined it.
Well, I
It's
always
been a
remember
while.
you telling me the bit where he made fun of radio people when I was in radio.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
There's
that was a
this
funny bit.
guy, and he's the guy, and there's this guy, he's the wild and crazy sidekick. He goes, they're all the fucking same.
How does he do radio like the interviews after that? Because
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
you gotta like David Cross is in town. They usually want you to stop by a radio station and be kind of awkward, where it's like, which one am I, David? I would bring it up. I'd be like, which one am I?
Yeah,
David, though, very liberal comedian, hardcore liberal, anti-religious. So, do you think God hates us?
it's a heavy loaded question.
Yeah, that's my interview style. You think God hates us?
To start off with the heavy hitters,
Yeah. Do you think Trump hates us?
uh, who's us? Us as
The
middle
the
class
thieves,
citizens, or
the vermin.
yeah, he doesn't care about us.
So MSNBC and CNN like cut away from his press conference because not press conference. I mean, he's turning it into a press conference where he's giving you updates about the corona or the Rona. What's the joke? The Rona, the Roni, they call it.
Oh,
But they're cutting away from him because they think it's like he's promoting his campaign because everyone says what a great job they're doing with fear in their eyes when they get up and talk. But the question is, should the media decide what we see and don't see?
well, it's the
Like,
media's it's the media's job to be there for the open press.
well, they don't want to cover it because they think they're promoting his propaganda because he's turning it into a pro-Trump thing, which I mean everyone kisses his ass because you have to or you'll get in trouble. But I don't know how you can be like pro anything when you're like, hey, you have to stay inside and you can't go out and you social distancing. And I don't know. Doesn't seem like if I was doing a rally to promote myself, I wouldn't want to be doing it during a pandemic. But I totally get it where they're like, everyone's kissing his ass, like, oh, I just want to thank the president, thank the president, thank the president. Everyone's doing a great job. Everything's amazing. Tremendous people. This is the best people ever. Everything's great. But shouldn't we like decide if we think it's bullshit, not the media? That's where like I'm kind of like disturbed by that.
Who's we? Like
Me and
the
you
people.
shouldn't we be allowed to see them if we and go that's bullshit versus we're not going to show this to you because we have integrity, which I don't think you do because if you had integrity you'd report it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it depends on the news outlet, and
Well,
I don't
guess
know.
who? It's CNN and MSNBC, two channels that are notorious enemies of his. And they're choosing not to cover him because they just don't want to promote him because he's getting so much press, I think, is the reality of it. He's getting so much press. And I'm not saying it's good
Well, not
press.
only that, like he's spreading misinformation. Like he goes up there. Granted, I stopped watching it. I mean, I watched like the first couple of days since it started, but ever since then, it's like he'll say one thing, yeah, this is going great, this is going great, and then like 2 minutes later, the experts will come up and say, like they'll say the exact opposite. So it's like it's really not as good, or you don't have a handle on it as good as you say you have. That's just from
So,
what I'm gathering.
but where do we draw the line? Where we choose, where where news networks choose not to cover because they don't think it's right. Do they get to make that call? We don't think that's right. I mean, they have their talking heads that come on right afterwards and talk all kinds of smack about them. So it's like, why isn't that good enough? I
Well,
mean,
he's basically using it as a free platform to say how great he's doing. Because this is an election year, he'd be doing it with ads that run on certain networks and not on all of the networks. Because that's all he's doing. He's just go up there boasting how great everything is and how great of a job he's doing. And if this wasn't going on, there'd be election ads with him saying how not. I mean, he could be doing it, but or his campaign team would be saying how great of a job he's doing.
so do you agree then with these news outlets to not cover that because they feel it's just, I guess, propaganda? It's promotion. Or do they have an obligation to cover the president when the president speaks?
They probably should, but why do they have to do it every day?
I'm
It's
like
been
you, man.
every day.
I watched it in the beginning, and then it just got overwhelming, where I just can't take it. I don't know if it was him or just having to watch this. It just went on and on forever. Here's the next person. Here's the next person.
I feel like each one
Here's the
was like
next
two
person.
hours long. I don't know how long they are now, but and it was like just rambling.
So you see nothing wrong with that, with a news outlet that's not covering the president because
I mean, I don't watch
they
TV.
don't.
You talking about TV? I don't watch TV anyway. I don't watch news. I don't watch the networks anyway. So you're
I
saying
don't either.
so you're
I'm
saying
asking you
like
if it's a moral question, an ethical question. I don't watch it either. I was unaware of this till I read it online. I mean, I don't watch CNN, MSNBC, Fox. I don't watch any of them. In passing, sometimes if like something blows up, I'll check it out. But I know they're all filtered through a lens. But one lens doesn't want to display the other lens. I mean, that would be like Fox News not wanting to cover Barack Obama. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
totally.
so like, is that ethically right or wrong? I guess is the question. Not is cable news garbage because it is.
It is, but like it's hard for a network to set aside 2 hours every day to cover this, to cover him. Like it was like a once a week thing, maybe that every outlet should cover it. But if it's 2 hours every day, when I mean I don't know what news. I mean I guess the news shows have their anchored shows. It's hard to push that away. That gains and ad time too. It's 2 hours if you're not selling ads. And, when you look at it as a network standpoint, that's 2 hours of ad time of you're not selling.
So they feel how we feel, the viewer, where this is getting bullshit. Who wants to watch this anymore?
I guess I don't know.
I mean, go ahead.
I'm saying I'm not caught up on the TV aspect of it. The only time I watched it was from a stream
Yeah,
online.
I think I watched it on CNN one time, and that brings me to my next thing. So, free press, right? We have the rights for a free press, which is great. I mean, way better than like communist countries, obviously. Now, Trump is notoriously a dick to the reporters, right?
Hmm.
And it seems like they're ready to go at him, kind of. It's kind of like a thing. You got Jim Acosta from CNN is always like trying to nail him. They're trying to nail him on being a racist and calling it the China flu. That's here nor there, is what I'm trying to say, in my opinion. But like, okay, so he's the president, and you ask him a question, and he answers your question, and these people like talk over him while he's answering. Like, I get it, you don't like him. I get it, you want that soundbite to make you look cool that you like nailed him on something. And of course, he's like way defensive and will like put you down professionally. One lady, he's like, that's why you're not with the New York Times anymore. And like, takes it way personally. But like, I mean, I talk over people all the time if you listen to this podcast. But like, if I asked the president a question whether I thought he was garbage or not, and he's answering, I wouldn't go, hey, but. I mean, freedom of press, but like, do you have to have some kind of class? You get what I'm saying? Or is it
Yeah,
justified because he's an asshole?
it's probably both. It's like they're both playing the game. They're playing a game.
He loves it, they love it.
Yeah, they're just. I see what you're saying because like a lot of times, they're asking just either crazy questions that you can't answer, in a couple seconds, and then they'll jump in as soon as he starts rambling after 30 seconds. Um,
Well,
so like I said, I haven't been watching it lately, but yeah, it's almost and what you said about they're just doing it for sound bites and for the short clips that get posted online and retweeted and all that.
So then my next question is this even like benefits journalism, or is this we just want our sensationalism? I got Trump to say fuck you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Like,
It's like
are you really
baiting
uncovering
him.
anything? Because what they do is they either ask like 5 questions at once, or they ask a question, and as he's like stumbling through it, they'll hit him with another one, or they'll challenge him, and it's like that's not whatever. You believe what you will about him. I'm not challenging that to anybody, but like no one did that to Barack Obama. I don't think nobody did that to George W. Bush, where you just like talk over him, blah 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 blah.
Right.
It's very antagonistic, and he created that. That's his fault.
I think that's yeah, like he created that. That's the game that he plays, and the reporters are just they know that like, that's the game he plays, and if he's going to be aggressive first, I don't know if he is. Um, they're going to come back and play that game. But you're right. Yeah, they didn't do that for. I've never seen that for any other presidents.
But it seems like they're doing it right off the bat now. It's like they hit him with anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you want to like t- address how you said this wasn't a big deal at first? And like, yeah, that's a good question, but then let him answer. Then he's like, of course he starts doing his dance, and then it's like blah blah blah. But it's like you gotta let him fucking answer. Let him hang himself. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
totally.
and it's just like you want that bite, and then he like shuts you down. Now, okay, freedom of press. Now, do you agree with this? My final like assessment. We have freedom of press, but if you're like harassing somebody, do you have the right to actually be there? Do you forfeit that right? But like Jim Acosta from CNN, I'm not aware of the specifics, but every time they go at it, wouldn't that, I mean, I'm not Trump, and I hopefully would never be him, um, mainly president, Jesus. But like, if some guy was like talking over me all the time, I'd be like, "You're banned. You can't come back here. Like, we can't have you like a, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. Yeah.
why? Does he ever do that? No, he wants them all. He wants it. He wants to fight, doesn't he?
Yeah. And to your first point, like if I had to answer these questions every single day, I get pretty aggressive too after day 2 or 3.
Everyone's yelling, raising their hand, yelling. They're yelling them out, and you go, "You." I mean, I would snap. I would snap so
Yeah. I
bad.
mean, to his benefit, that's got to be a huge undertaking to do every single day.
And pretty much everyone's trying to trip him up. Pretty
Right.
much, no one's like, "Hey, you did a good job." He's doing that himself. Yo, so great. Everything's amazing. Everything's fabulous. So on the Trump note, he wants to, or he says he'd like to start. Are you ready for some football on time in September? Do you think that's reasonable? Or you think that's now? If you don't think it's reasonable, do you think he knows that and he's just trying to keep our hope alive, or do you think he really wants that in? He doesn't give a fuck.
I don't know. I have no idea anymore about anything. I mean, September, but it's not September. That's when it starts. But like, I think everything starts at least in like training starts in July. So it's not really a September start in terms of like the players actually coming together and starting to train and all that. I mean, that starts in July. So that's kind of the question. But yeah, so in your second part of your question, is he doing it just for business? Just for the, what's the word? The positivity of it? Just to, yeah, September. That's going to happen. I don't know.
All right, so that stimulus check, I think it's supposed to be arriving at least by April 17th for the lower income people. If you make 20,000 to something, I don't know. It's like in May, and then 40,000 and up is like end of May. So if you, I guess if you make more money, you have to wait. So, um, is this like, is this an insult to us?
In terms of when we're getting it,
Not just when we're getting it, just the whole concept of it. Like, number one, $12,000 is not enough to help most people with their problems.
twelve hundred
People
dollars.
are,
$1,200.
is that what I said? What did I say?
They said $12,000.
I wish.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be complaining. I'm not complaining. I just think like it's cheap. It's like It's
It's
just
not
like
good.
how
I mean, it's especially it depends how long it takes to get here. If it takes 2 to 3 months, and if someone lost their job 2 weeks ago, I mean, of course, $1,200 free money is going to help, but it's not going to solve everybody's problems.
and then you got, of course, people not spending it where they should. Instead of,
Right.
I don't know if I said this on the last podcast, but everything's on hold right now. It's all going to come back at some point. You're going to owe double in utilities and rent and all that.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, also, like, how are you supposed to spend it? I mean, say you don't spend it on bills, like I guess you got to order everything online. I mean, I don't know. I just think
Yeah.
it's a half-baked solution. I'm glad that they're doing it, but I really don't think it's going to change anything for many people. I
No.
mean, it's a good concept. I actually can't believe they're actually doing it either. But
And in
it
terms
doesn't
of,
make.
sorry,
No, go ahead.
I would say in terms of it getting here, it does sound like a logistical nightmare. Just to,
It's going to be deposited, I think. So,
well,
I mean,
I just mean like how, like, and this is also, so it's all going through the IRS, and this is also tax time.
right.
So it's just, I mean, these people are just people, and they're probably not the smartest people in the world as a collective. Just any organization, to handle this unexpected surge in sending money out to every single citizen. I mean,
That pays their taxes.
yeah, it sounds like a daunting task. While at the same time, granted, everything's delayed, but it's also tax season.
Do you believe it's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of mistakes? People are going to
Oh
be like,
yeah,
"Where's my money?" And
for
they're
sure,
just no one will answer the phone. You're on
exactly.
hold. Yeah.
So that's why, like, I don't even expect getting it or getting it soon. Um, Even though I think the last I read is if you filed electronically, you're going to get it faster than getting it mailed.
Yeah, that goes with your tax return as well, though.
Right.
Like everything electronically, they'll just put it in your account.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's cool. $1,200. Can't wait to go out on the town. Oh wait.
Because people don't like to get a nice check and put it straight to bills.
No,
I
they
mean, unless
don't.
they
And that
really, really need to.
that's human nature. That's just
Right.
human nature. And I'm not down on anybody who wants to go have a good time. It's human nature.
Where are they going to have a good time at?
That's what I was saying. I guess you might as well spend it on bills.
Yeah.
That shelter in place, you might as well keep that shelter because you ain't going anywhere. But, Bernie wanted to give us 2 grand, and then Pelosi, I think, wants to give us another grand. And I don't know. It just doesn't sound. Any of it sounds feasible. We'll see how this first 12 grand goes off. But we've heard nothing about any kind of cash from Biden, have we?
I
I
mean,
mean, he's
he's everything. I don't know. He's supposed to be. This is his year. This is his time.
God hates him. It's all about him. God did this so he wouldn't win, right?
And he's just I mean, I see a couple articles with him saying stuff, but it's either that or just no one's covering it because of all the Trump stuff and of all the virus stuff. It's almost
Well,
like I have to actively search for what if Biden is even still alive.
and I searched for it, and it comes up all the dumb shit he says. It doesn't come up with anything great. He said he had 5 grandkids, but he actually has 7. Hey, they're grandkids, man. They're not your kids, so it's kind of hard to keep track. The DNC National Convention is going to be virtual, so you can watch it from your house. He made that announcement, and Biden will be wearing a mask in public, which will make it harder for him to kiss young girls, I guess. He's really went after Trump, calling him a fucking xenophobe for the China flu comments. That's like that's their big stance is going after him, saying, you're a racist for saying China flu. Sounds racist, doesn't it? I mean, he says Wuhan wrong. He claimed that the Trump administration withdrew CDC staffers in months leading up to the virus outbreak. stemming from a reader's report last week claiming the administration slash CDC staff in China. I guess that's wrong. The problem is that the CDC began offering to send a team of experts to China back in early January. So he's just talking out his ass. I think he also said the coronavirus wrong, like or COVID-19, like he didn't say the name of it right. So this guy, not only is he buried in the media, but anything you do find is uh, just every headline I read is basically Biden fucks up interview. Biden fucks up interview. Biden fucks up interview. So
It's just a joke how the DNC has had 4 years to prepare for this.
well, they hated him so bad. They hated Trump so bad. They and now they have a new commission now, another commission to try to get rid of him to come in and investigate how he handled this. So, I mean, they won't stop, but then they give Biden as the guy to go after him. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Actions mean louder than words, as they say.
yeah, and there's also, I don't want to get into it like because I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but and of course it was on Reddit, so it's not credible. But now
Yeah.
there's talk that a lot of the new election or the voting machines, I should say, held at elections in like Texas, California, like the big states, like show no paper trail.
Oh, are you talking about the mail-in ones? That's what they're going to try to do to have you
No, no,
mail
no,
them
no,
in.
no. Like during the primaries, like these brand new, we'll call them machines. Like a lot of times there's paper trails to count to recount, but all these newer ones, and not in every county, but a lot of them in the big states that mattered, use these new machines that show no paper trail of votes. So it's just like, we're just gonna make up a number, blah 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 blah. Okay, this is what Joe Biden got. This is what Bernie got. You know,
Mm.
that's the quote unquote conspiracy theory about just the DNC just pushing Biden along without the votes to back it up.
Ooh, well, I mean, I'm not saying that that's happened in a presidential race, but like in Chicago, Old Man Daley back in the day had dead people voting for him.
Right.
I mean, so shit happens. shit shit happens. Um, there would be a huge, possibly civil uprising, because Trump would run his mouth so bad that people would get really worked up if that was the case.
But just
Because
like
I
it,
haven't.
so just like anything, you can't prove that though. You can't prove. I mean, you can prove there's no paper trails, but you can't prove that it's rigged or
All he's got to say is it's rigged, and people will believe him, though.
yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, and I'm sorry if I'm a broken record, but anybody against the candidate is never going to win. Anybody against Trump, anybody against Obama, not going to win. Anybody against Bush, John Kerry, not going to win. I mean, Mitt Romney was against Obama. That guy wasn't going to win. It's just anybody. We got to get behind him. Larry David, our good friend Larry David, who brought us years of joy, says Bernie should drop out, and everyone needs to get behind Biden. Everyone needs to get behind him. I mean, so you basically support someone you don't support. And I'm not bashing David. Everyone says this now. All the Democrats, you got to get behind him. He's our guy. Even if you just ignore him, that he's like possibly retarded or, has Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
We got to get behind him. You got to get him. You got to get behind him because he's our guy. It's kind of like why,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
See, Bernie needs to run as an independent, and that would ruin Biden. It'd be the
I
end.
mean, that would just put Trump in the office for sure if it's not already 100%.
Then they need to cut Bernie a big fat check.
Well,
So I think Andrew Cuomo, or is that the name of the governor, Andrew Cuomo?
yeah.
I think he's going to be a contender in the next 4 years, probably. I think he's
Probably.
going to run. Everyone is really impressed with him. They think he's really great. His brother on CNN has the coronavirus. He has COVID-19. Said that he was felt like he was being beat like a pinata. He shivered and chipped his tooth, hallucinated and saw his dad. I'm sure none of that's exaggerated.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, I've been reading lots of reports of that. Oh man, but that's pretty much what I have for politics this week.
Another sad week.
Yeah, we really have nothing or no one to believe in, do we? We're disillusioned.
Yeah, and I don't even know if the virus even changed anything. I mean, I think that's the big thing. Take away the virus, and the question is, could Biden even beat Trump anyway?
No, but this goes back to why MSNBC and CNN are cutting the coverage. They don't want Trump getting promotion on their stations. They rather do that with Biden.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, well, another week. Kind of the same old, nothing really. Doesn't feel like a campaign year, or election year, I should say.
Yeah. So, do you think the election will get postponed? Possibly. That's not possible. There's no way,
We're
right?
just gonna cancel it. We'll wait for four more years. That's Bernie. I always do the years. Wait.
This is going to be the greatest election ever.
We're just
going to
gonna
be
cancel
amazing.
it. We're just gonna cancel it. Don't worry, America. I got it for the next 4 years. Don't worry.
We're gonna have a great 4 years, the amazing 4 years, the best 4 years ever.
I got a bunch of judges lined up, ready to take over the Supreme Court to make it.
Do you think he's really bragging about his ratings, or is that out of context? Where he's like, I'm number one on Facebook. I mean, you're not number one. The fucking virus is number one.
I don't know. The guys, like I said, it's hard for me to talk about, or let's say I don't like to talk about things that I didn't see live, because I'm just reading, headlines and articles, and who knows how biased they are. But if it's all true, it's just, man, or not true, but if that's the context, I don't know.
Well, I know I saw one where they asked him when can we get out, let us out, and he said like by Easter, but he didn't say like I want to. He just said like it'd be nice, kind of.
Yeah.
And then the headline was he wants us out by Easter. It's
That's
like
what I
that's
mean.
not what he said. Okay, like relax.
Well, he had a good week, because our last week we were talking about if the guy just had a little humility, and then I think like that night or the next night he kind of did. That's when he extended that to the deaths are going to get really bad here. We're just gonna keep this going for another month or so. At least that's what I gathered from the headline. It's like, wow, he actually did the right thing here, and push back the Easter thing.
I don't think he has a choice.
Right. Yeah.
Thank God.
Yep.
Well, that's it, man. That's what I got. Unless you got anything else.
That is it. There is a hashtag Where is Joe trending on Twitter.
Is there really?
Yeah. According to this headline, where is Joe trending on Twitter? Biden campaign tries to stay Joe Biden.
There's also like constantly hashtag Trump genocide on Twitter, so they can at least Joe's getting equal attention.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you next time.
All right, man.